KJAMZ 105.3, hip-hop and R&B hits. Welcome back to the Chop Shop. You and me, Kooo Keith. You know, somebody always coming through the Chop Shop. I want to let you know what's really going on. And got another lawyer in the building right now, Mr. Williams. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, Kooo Keith.
Hey, man, glad you here, man.
Hey,
you
man,
know,
I
finally get to meet you, bro.
Appreciate it.
How you been? You been all right?
Man, I've been grinding, in
right.
court all the time, but trying to get this business and out trying to help people. So that's what we do.
Yeah, now you do everything, criminal, just from criminal to divorce, and talk about that, man.
Yeah, we're a general practice firm.
Okay.
We do mostly criminal defense, DUIs, drug cases, but we do a little bit of all criminal, from juvenile, misdemeanors, felonies. We handle all of it. I've been doing it for 16 years now, man. So we kind of handle everything. We got a new associate in the office, so we staying busy all over eastern Oklahoma.
Okay.
We go from Tulsa to Okmulgee, Muskogee, all on the east side. We handle cases. So if you have any questions, anything like that, people can reach us at cwilliamslegal.com or at 918-582-9529. But we do a little bit of everything. We do divorces, paternity, civil cases. We just stay busy, man.
Now let me ask you this. Reverse this a little bit. What made you get into law?
Man, I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
So back home, just something we kind of, I was looking at for a while. I met some mentors that kind of were in the field.
I mean, what made you say, I want to do this?
Man, I sat down a lot of times and I'd see these guys in the courtroom.
Was you watching court TV?
Well, not necessarily court TV. Not only seeing folks, but then seeing some of my friends back home going through the process.
Okay.
Man. Seeing them go through whatever cases they had going on at the time. It was a lot going on back in Little Rock at the time. And so, I had mentors, but I also had friends that was going through the system.
Okay.
So just able to see that and say, hey, maybe I can make a change. Maybe I can do something. I feel like I can do that. Maybe even a little bit better than some of the folks. So
right. Now,
I give it a try.
Being, going into the process of being a lawyer, what did you see that you didn't see, from your mentors, like what you was going through as far as studying and all that?
Right. Well, I mean, you can go to law school and see your mentors, but until you get behind the scene and see some of the grind about, when you're not in court, some of the calls you have to take, some of the things you got to do to fight for your clients, that was a little different. A lot of, most of the things that don't happen in the courtroom. If your lawyer is just in the courtroom fighting for you, he's not doing a good job. Most of the time, I'm on the phone, I'm shooting emails to DAs, and we doing things, conferencing behind the scenes. The work gets finished, finalized in the courtroom, but it gets started on the phones, grinding behind the scenes, working for your clients, man.
Okay.
So most of it goes. Only, Cookie, probably about, I'd say the thousands of cases we do, only a handful, probably 5% or less end up going to trial. So most of the times it's going in there, establishing relationships, and being able to do your research and be ready for court when it happens. So
now, we all look at TV, and we've seen the court system, L.A. law and all that, and they do stuff within an hour. That's not the case.
No, man. And I don't even really watch a lot of law TV shows.
Okay.
I watch TV, but when I come home, I'm like, that's not really real. I thought, before I got in the law, I'm like, oh, yeah, you hit them with that question, they're going to tell you everything. That's not how it is, man. You get in there and you just go at it. You go at it and you have, a strategy for going at, cross-examination, et cetera, when you have somebody on the stand. But TV is just TV. It is not how it really is. You see bits and pieces.
Right.
Now, if you go to court TV, that is kind of, you can get a real feel for it. But TV shows, man, that's not real. That's not real at all.
Now, speaking of court TV, have you? I guess you viewed it every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you get ideas from that, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You can get some good closing argument ideas when when I'm in front of a jury. Different illustrations of how you want to show that. Talking to a jury is like telling a story about your client. You have to be able to paint that picture so that they can understand. When I do personal injury cases, for example, and my persons have been in a car wreck or something like that, I've got to be able to tell the jury, hey, these are real damages, and I want you to be able to feel the pain and suffering my client's been feeling. So I've got to be able to tell that story and make that jury feel that.
Now, telling the story, does that come with over time?
It does.
Because I remember the first time you ever did it, you look back and be like, What was I
Yeah,
thinking?
yeah. Training and time.
Okay,
Yeah, because
okay.
I go to CLEs all around the United States, try to pick up bits and pieces. I've been all over and kind of learning from some of the best lawyers out there, trying to
Okay.
get a feel for how they do it, and then trying to, get some of that here and some of that here and
Right.
put it together and kind of make it your own.
And
so.
in painting that picture, that's basically one of the very important aspects of a trial. Am I correct?
Exactly. You got to be able to make the jury feel for your client and be able to put that evidence out there. So.
Now, you deal with everything, not just one particular area. You in all areas.
Right,
Can you
right.
talk about that a little bit?
Right. We do family law. That means divorces and paternity cases and that type of thing. We do personal injury car accidents. A lot of times what will happen is people have been in car accidents and the insurance company will lowball them, especially here in Oklahoma. Like, you take this $500 and going down the road. Now, you got hospital bills, you got everything else, and that's how they talk to folks a lot of times. And so we handle those and we try to get maximum benefit. The deal here at our law office, which you can reach at 582-9529 or cwilliamslegal.com, is this. You don't pay us unless we win your case.
Okay.
So I don't get anything out of it unless I win your case. So I'm trying to get you the maximum so that I can get paid. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Right.
And that we do a lot of the car wrecks here, soft tissue damages, wrongful death. We handle all those types of cases.
Now, one thing that we as people don't know about the law, what's one thing you can tell us about something we don't know with the law when it comes to going to court?
Okay. Well, the first part of any case usually is the arraignment part. Everybody gets arraigned in Oklahoma, okay? Be it somebody in court for a misdemeanor charge or somebody in there with a felony. Everybody goes to the same courtroom on the first floor and handles that case. That's called an arraignment.
Okay.
And people think, well, I've got to speak up. My clients never speak at an arraignment. That's kind of something that they think, well, what am I going to have to say? You don't say anything.
Okay.
The lawyers come in, we plea you out not guilty, we do our formal appearances, and we get on down the road. A lot of people see that on TV, and they're like, well, why didn't she say something? Why didn't he say something? At the end of the time, it's a technicality kind of, basically.
Okay.
It just gets us moving in the case. That's all that is on that one. Another thing about the law, man, is, like I said earlier, a lot of it's behind the scenes, conferencing and that type of thing. A lot of it's case law. A lot of people don't realize how the Supreme Court affects your life on a daily basis. They don't understand that how many of their freedoms have been taken away over time from the Supreme Court, chipping away at their freedoms. A lot of times people are like, well, man, Carlos, I got stopped the other day, and he didn't really Mirandize me until he didn't read me my Miranda rights. Okay. And I'll question them. And what they don't know is that the Supreme Court is basically chipped away. So Miranda is so watered down now. If they forget to do it or if they do it at another point, the courts have said, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to still let that in because we was going to inevitably stop you anyway. We was going to do this. And so people don't understand that. And that kind of goes to the election because the Supreme Court is picked up by and appointed by the president. So that just shows how all this is just tied together, man. It's tied together.
Wow. Now, you just speaking on, reading your rights and all that, being pulled over, what rights do we have as U.S. citizens,
right?
When it comes to
sure, you have the right. Well, one of the main rights, and I fight this all the time, is that you have the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures.
Okay.
That means that police without a warrant are not supposed to stop you without a valid warrant. No, that's the rule. You're not supposed to be stopped and searched without a valid warrant. Now, then the courts have said, now we have exceptions to that rule. But it's only a handful of exceptions to the rule in which a warrant isn't necessary. And there we can spell all those out. And that's why we want people to call us if they're going through serious criminal cases. You can catch me at 582-9529. But there's certain exceptions to that rule, but if that search and seizure didn't fall under one of those exceptions, then we call it the fruit of the poisonous tree, meaning that all the evidence that they got from that illegal search and seizure is irrelevant and can't be used in a court of law. So that is important. That's a right a lot of people don't know about. Oh, well, I got stopped. They found this. They found that.
Right.
Okay. Was the search legit? That's the first question people need to ask. They said, was the search legit? You can call me up. I'll analyze the case. We do free consultations here at my office. Like I said, you can reach us at cwilliamslegal.com or at 582-9529, and we'll be glad to kind of go through your case and see if there's an issue out there.
Now, real quick, you just said that in search and seizure. You know, for instance, I was just reading on one of the football players who got pulled over, and they suspect that he was, high. So they say they smell something.
They use that all the time.
Yeah. So is that still?
Yeah, and one of them is in these traffic situations because they'll say, "Well, I stopped him," and the police. Let me tell you who knows the law. The police know the law.
Okay,
they know how to try to change the facts and write those reports so that it goes hand in hand with the law. It's not coincidental that I can tell when people come in and they don't have their police reports yet, and they come in and they start with a 2-minute fact pattern, I can almost tell them exactly, without seeing their police report, what the police officer put in their report. And they're like, how? I said, watch this. I said, let me tell you what's going to happen. You got a DUI? Okay, so we approached Mr. So-and-so, and the next thing you know, we smelled a strong odor of alcohol.
Right.
He had red bloodshot eyes.
Right.
He was unsteady on his feet. And then they go through, they know what points because they've been through that. Police are experts in the law, and so they know what to put in there. They know how to make their case, and so they'll go through, and it's just like a blueprint. Most cases will fit right into there. Most of them are, and if they don't, then they know that it's a way that we may be able to.
But can we say, you don't have a right to, you don't have a search warrant? Can we say that as a?
You can say that especially when they're going beyond. Here's one of the prime cases that came down, and I've used this case over and over. If you get stopped for a traffic stop, okay. Let me put this out first. Make sure you have legitimate insurance and driver's license.
Okay.
Because if you do, anytime they stop you for a traffic offense, if you're legit on the driver's license and insurance, then they're not supposed to go beyond the scope of giving you a ticket.
Even if they say we suspect that it was
and that suspecting is that's where you can fight them. They have to be able to say more than just a suspicion. Okay, they have to be able to articulate that and say, so if you get stopped on a traffic ticket and they say, well, you swerve over your lanes incorrectly, okay, and let's say in the back of the car you got something that's illegal in the trunk of the vehicle,
okay,
all right, and they pull you over and they start searching that vehicle, that's an illegal search. But let me tell you how they get around it most of the time. This is how it happens.
Okay,
you get pulled over for an illegal left turn or whatever they say, and they pull you over. And you've got something in the trunk that may not be legal. The next thing you know, they ask for your driver's license, insurance,
registration,
etc., and you don't have one of them. What they do now is like, all right, gotcha. So, man, you should have had insurance here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to now impound your vehicle. That allows me to do what's called something entirely different, called an inventory search. Now I got a way that I can go in and check the trunk of your car. Oh, look what I found, man. And it's all because they couldn't have done it. You open the door. The stop shouldn't have been probably in the first place. They'll make up the traffic violation, or they'll wait till you eventually do something, and then the next thing you know, you don't have one of those papers, or you don't have your license on you. That lets them do the inventory search. Bingo. Now the search is legit. Now it's legit, and now they can under that inventory search law, and then they can do it. So
if you're going through something right now, if anybody going through something. This man just put you on to a lot of stuff that we probably didn't know about, and there's nothing else I can say, Mr. Williams. It's deep.
I've been doing this 16 years, my man. That's what we do. So.
And if you need a lawyer, somebody who will fight for you and also give you the rights that you have that you didn't know, Mr. Carlos Williams will give you all the information. Put your number out there once again.
Sure, it's 918-582-9529. You can reach us via the web at cwilliamslegal.com, or I'm on Facebook on the law office of Carlos L. Williams.
Once again, man, appreciate you for
man,
all the
appreciate you having me in, bro.
I feel like, we in court right now. We of course, so
up,
we
man.
do have rights out there, and we just need to exercise it, basically.
Exactly. Make sure you do come in. We do free consultations. If you got a family case, a DUI, a drug case, juvenile, wherever you are, give us a call. We'll be glad to evaluate it and take care of you.
There you have it, man. Appreciate you for coming through,
thank
man.
you
Thank
for
you for the
having me,
knowledge
Tom,
and all
man. I
that.
appreciate you.
We still got more on the way. Don't go nowhere. Mr. Carlos L. Williams in the building. It's KJAMZ 105.3, hip hop and R&B hits.